out today a little bit about what you are doing as well, because that's why we got this reunion, because we wanted to find out what are our cohorts doing. Sorry, just leave it on the agenda slide. That's okay. Thanks. I'll come back to it. Thanks, Kate. And we also want you. Sorry, one. Is it moving along now?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it was animated, I think.
Let me work on it.
Okay, we're learning as we go along. So what we want to do today as well is we want to give you an opportunity, for those of you that are here, to tell us what you've been doing. You know, what have you implemented from what you've learned? We've got a really great guest speaker with us today. She's an entrepreneur herself. She's only 26 years old, and she started her career actually with door-to-door selling, and today she's very successful and created various businesses. And then the exciting thing is that we've got 3 prizes to give away today from our guest speaker and the Shared Value Africa initiative. It's a media awareness campaign for your brand, actually, but however, you have to earn this prize. And the way you're going to do it is that you're going to tell us, you know, what you've been doing since you were part of the cohort. You know, did it actually, you know, the learnings from the cohort the learnings that you went through, did it actually made you think differently, made you change the way you do business? Did it have an impact on your business? You know, we just want to hear from you, because it will also help us a little bit, you know, because we're starting our next cohort now on I think it's the 4th of May. So what we want you to do is we want you to put your name in the chat if you want to get your 3 minutes to tell us, 3 to 4 minutes maximum, and then we'll give 3 prizes away. So just put your name in the chat, and then Kate will coordinate it for me to tell us who the people are. So I think for me, what today is about is that we wanted to share with you, you know, a little bit of update on the Shift Impact Africa group. And then we're going to have our really great speaker, Justine, and then your turn to tell your stories. And then the prize handout at the end. So there'll be 3 prizes that we'll give away, which is these media awareness campaigns for your brand. And we'll talk a little bit about it just now. So firstly, what I'm going to do now is, Kate, I have to ask you to stop sharing your screen, and I'm going to share my screen, if that's okay, because I want to go in to talk a little bit about what we're doing from a shared value perspective at the moment. And I'm glad Vuyo's with us this morning, because she thought she was going to get the morning off, but she
God, no. Let us know. I'm happy to be here.
No, I'm just joking. So Vuyo's with us because I've got an announcement to make as well. And I mean, I just want to say to all of you that's here today, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Just let me know if you can see my screen slideshow from the beginning. Okay. So yeah, so you basically, all of you that's here today, and hi, Bless, glad to see you here. But what we've done is, and with Vuyo here as well today, I want to talk sort of almost on behalf of Vuyo and myself today. Because what we did is, just for your purposes, we sat down earlier this year with our board, and we've decided to restructure Shared Value Africa Initiative and Shift Impact Africa a little bit. So that's the story I want to tell you today. So what I also want to say to all of you on this call today, you're part of a global network, you know, and I think, for me, you being part of our shared value family as well, and I hope you understand the importance of that. So the global network, which we have probably shared with all of you, but I'm just reconfirming, is that the global network works out of different, on all the continents, actually, in Australia and India, in Hong Kong, and then us in Africa. The orange is where we are. That's the shared value footprint. At this stage, we obviously, as we always says, would love to color that Africa orange, but we're not there yet. But maybe next time when we speak again, we'll have a few more orange, countries in there. So what I also want to say to you, as this cohort and all of you that's been part of our learning process, also part of a global, if you look at the global brands that is actually implementing the creation of shared value. So you're not on your own. So I'm hoping that you have implemented it. That said she confidently, but you're not on your own. There are big brands that are actually involved in creating shared value. Then this is where our change comes in. So what we've decided this year, and we'll be taking over the Shared Value Africa initiative next year in 2024. She's our CEO in training at the moment. Not that she's not doing the job already, but so that's the change that we've made. So I'm going to be looking after the Shift Impact Africa group, but with my focus on Shift Impact Africa. So if you look at the groups, and I don't think we've ever shared this with you as a group. So we've got the Shift Impact Africa, which is the advisory and business development side. And there I've been tasked by the board this year, for me, that I have to really build that. So I can hand over the Shared Value Africa initiative to Vuyo comfortably, because she's been with us now is it Vuyo in October or August?
It'll be 4 years in October.
4 years in October. So I'll be handing that over to Vuyo. She's already running with a lot of the things, already. So then, and we've spoken to some of you, or some of you that've been to our entrepreneurship forums. You've heard about Jammy Trade, and Jammy Trade is this platform that we developing, for entrepreneurs to be able to trade across borders. We've got a huge investors meeting on the 19th of May, where we're going to ask people for funding to try and, get to the MVP 2 stage. And then, of course, there's the academy that does the training. And then we've got the It's Not Okay which is something that we're busy working on a gender equality assessment tool at the moment, because we strongly believe that gender equality will reduce gender-based violence. So that's a little bit of the story on the Shift Impact Africa group. And then, again, this is our current footprint. We're trying to get into more countries. We thought we were going to go to Sudan. I mean, it was all on the cards, but now what's happened in Sudan has delayed that. But we're still trying to get into other countries. And also, what I want to share with you as well is our network. So what I want to say to all of you is that you've also got access, now that you're part of our community and you're part of the Shared Value family. This is the network that we have, and I really want to say to all of you, we want to support you, as our young entrepreneurs and as our young leaders. But we also want you to support us. So we want you to sign up for our newsletter, to follow us, to come to our events, to look at what we've got coming up, see if you're interested in it. So it's got to work both ways for us. Then I want you, just a gentle reminder from our training, Susan and Vuyo, I want to remind our cohort again, about the concept, the business management concept of creating shared value, and where we really got to make money. We understand that, but we also got to look at how do we affect the communities in which we operate. So this is just here as a reminder slide. And then obviously for all of us, and I'm sure for you as well, it is about sustainability. It's about how can we grow our companies to the next level? How can we ensure that we economically viable from that perspective so we can attract investors? Never, ever forgetting about the Sustainable Development Goals. that's at the bottom of the screen, because if we look at those, even from a business perspective, we can address those in our businesses. In a little bit of I've removed the shared value series slide, the actual logo slide. So what we wanted to also tell you about this year is that, every year, and for those of you that's been with us for a while, our first cohort, we always used to have a big summit every year. So last year we were in Rwanda, and the year before we had it in South Africa, and the year before it was online, and then we also had it in Kenya as well. So what we've decided this year is what we're going to do is we're creating the shared value series. And these are all going to be in person, but they are hopefully also going to be broadcast as well. So why I'm showing you this, so if anybody's from Ghana, I don't know if Andrews is here, but if anybody's from Ghana, we want you to come to this event in Ghana when we have it. We've got the CEO Connect in Kenya on the 4th of July, Ghana, hopefully, God willing, on the 11th of July. Then we're back in South Africa in August with the CEO Forum, and then MWC Africa in Rwanda again, and then back again in South Africa after that. So if you sign up to our newsletter, if you're part of our database, you'll get informed of all of these things, every single time. So why we did these different, the 5 different business areas, we wanted to look, from a SVAI perspective, to stay true to our pillars and our focus areas, is to look at ESG. I'm sure, if there's a lot of you, Susan and myself are hopefully going to be working together on a big ESG project. We want to talk about leadership, because I think leadership is very important, and specifically with you as young leaders. We want to speak to senior leaders, but we also want to speak to young leaders. And then it's about sustainability. We all need to create sustainable businesses so that we can create a better future, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. And then in Rwanda will be the ICT and digital inclusion, because, as we all know, that's the enabler, what I mean? We've got to have connectivity in Africa to enable us all to make informed decisions. And I think it's going to be a while before we get there, but we need to carry on working on that. And then, this is the last slide from my side, just to say, the power lies in the collective. We all must be so sick of hearing that, because I say it so often, but the power lies in the collective. If we work together, as a group, as a family, as an organization, as your organizations, we can create the value, for the people in those communities in which we work. And then we can scale, and we can then really make an impact, with the work that we're doing. So it's my presentation. I think for me, the big announcement was on Vuyo, which I wanted to share with all of you, and from next year. But, as you know, Vuyo's been doing a lot of things already from that perspective. And now what I want to do is, Kate, can you just bring up for me Justine's slide? Because I want to now introduce you to our guest speaker today. So let me tell you how the guest speaker and myself got connected. I got an email to say, oh, she wants to interview me. So I said, oh, okay. So we went backwards and forwards. It took a while. And then we did the interview together. And then the same campaign that you're doing today, we did as well on Justine Kiska's platform, and she'll tell you all about it. What I do want to tell all of you is that we are giving, as I said, we're giving away 3 prizes today. It's like a advertising campaign that Justine's company will do for you. But what we want you to do for that prize, obviously, as I mentioned, or maybe not, is that we want you to tell your journey, and you've got 3 minutes. And I'm going to be very strict on the timing, because you can't even see my photo. So that's okay. So I can look at my phone and I can set the 3 minutes, but you've got 3 minutes. But what you have to do is, if you want to be a recipient of the prize, you have to deliver your 3-minute talk to tell us your name, your company, which cohort you were part of, which country you're from, which cohort you're part of, and how did you implement your learnings, and did it impact, on your business. We don't need a long list, because remember, you've only got 3 minutes. So if you can put your name in the chat to say that you want to tell your story, Kate will give us the names. She'll call you up when it's time for you to speak, and then you can just switch your camera on. So I hope I'm clear on that. So now over to Justine. So Justine and myself met when she tried to interview me, and first I said no, and then I said yes. And then she's an entrepreneur, just like all of you. She's 26 years old. She started, as I said earlier on, her journey door-to-door selling. And today, at the age of 26, she's built some companies. I think even when she told me about her journey, she sold one of her companies back to the person she bought it from. So she's been fairly successful in her journey. And I think it would, when I met Justine, I thought it would be really great for her just to come and tell us about her journey as an entrepreneur, and then a great opportunity for you as well to get an advertising campaign out of it. So Justine, we're going to remove our slide now from the screen, and then I think you said you had a presentation. Is that right?
Yes, I do have. It's a short 4-slide presentation, but I just would like to give Helen access to share her screen if it's possible. She will be sharing it for me.
She'll be sharing your slides. Okay.
Yes,
So Kate,
please.
can you do that?
Hi, you should be able to share your slides. Are you not able to right now?
Yeah, Justine, she can share.
The sharing should be enabled. There we go.
Okay, there we are.
Oh, yeah, cool.
We got
Thank
it.
you. I'll put my.
Got it.
Can you see me?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I can see you. Thank you, Justine.
Oh.
So Justine, just to remind you, you've got 10 minutes. Okay, I'm the clock watcher here.
Okay, cool. I structured everything out in time
Okay.
order.
Okay,
cool.
great.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm just going to start immediately, and I'm just going to start with, I want to give you a capsule of how I started my journey in entrepreneurship, and then just roll over from that. So as soon as I finished school, I had very few opportunities. I could not get into any university. I disappointed myself and my family. I couldn't manage to apply for most things people could apply for. I couldn't even get into UNISA, and that's most people. So I called my auntie who lived in India at the time, and I had just requested that she send me something, anything at that point to sell, and she sent me some hair. And I took that hair and I went to the mall. The mall was walking distance for me, so I walked to the mall and I would try and sell these hair pieces lay by. Fast forward, I borrowed my mother's laptop. I used to sit at my Bean and I made a couple of Wix websites trying to sell the hair. 2 years later, I would message influencers. At that time, influencers that are now really large were just picking up steam. So I managed to get one of the influencers involved in my company, and that's when everything blew up for me. So that was my first brand, and that was Expensive Heads. It completely blew up when Lesizwe started wearing their hair on MTV, and I just had a ripple effect from there. I then sold that company. So here's where the real story began. So I sold that business and I started a company called Barter Smarter. So I had no source of income. I only had the money from the hair business. And I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to start some sort of tech idea. At that time, COVID had just hit. My mother lost her job. I was the sole breadwinner. I was really stressed, and I started Barter Smarter. So Barter Smarter initially was a platform that I wanted to allow business owners to trade and exchange goods and services with each other because we were having an issue with money at the time. So I also had not enough funds. So I wanted to enable myself to trade with other business owners. So I started this platform, and it had a lot of tech implications to it. So it was very hard for me to get it out there. And I left it on the back burner for a couple months because it was just not providing me any income. I was just getting more and more broke as time was going on. So I borrowed my mother's car. She was obviously at home. And I just started driving around looking for opportunities or ideas. I was constantly trying to get interviews, look for any opportunities. I drove past a door manufacturing company and I saw 2 binfuls of wood. I was just like, is this trash, or are they doing something here? So I stopped and I just walked in and I asked for the manager and I said, what is all this wood doing here? Does it belong to someone? Can I have it? And he said, yes, you can have it. So I lived in a flat. I didn't have anywhere to put the wood. So I rented a storage unit across the road, and I took all the wood and I just chucked it into the storage unit. And I said to myself, I have to start selling something. Maybe I can do something with this wood. So without telling the story in full, I've got Helen here who is going to play the video for you. It's a 2-minute video, so I just put that out there for time's sake. And it just gives you an overview of what happened there.
So is Geraldine going to play the video for us, Justine?
Yes, she's playing it now for you. It's very short, but it just shows you exactly what happened at that time.
Because it's okay, because it's not playing yet.
Okay, can we see it? Can you see it?
No, we've got on our screen, we've got the woodpecker, you know, your slide with the woodpecker on it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, she's got it now. Okay, cool.
Okay,
So this was a few years ago. So this was not last year. That was about a year before that. But just in this video is a bit old.
Justine, if there's sound, we've lost it, I think, when you muted yourself.
Just keep your sound, keep your, yeah.
Okay.
It's very faint.
It's gone off again on my side.
Yeah, I think this there's a problem with the sound, but it's okay. We can we can see the video, and you can tell us afterwards about the video, Justine. If you put your sound off, Justine, that's when we can't hear the sound on the side.
Okay.
Can you keep your sound on?
Do you know what's hiding in your business's data? These all sites use BigQuery to uncover new insights from their data.
Gotta stop the YouTube.
I guess you're fine.
You just have to stop sharing your screen, Geraldine.
Stop share. Okay.
So, Justine, are you still there? I just want to ask you quickly, because I think you've told us about expensive heads, about barter smarter, and on woodpeckers, and we've seen the video. So and in there you said you made a few mistakes. So tell us a little bit more about woodpecker and the mistakes you made.
Yes, so I'm gonna get into everything. I'm just putting like little details of what happened, and then I'm gonna put it full circle for you.
Great.
So in woodpeckers, gosh, I made so many mistakes there. I bought a vehicle and I got scammed. And unfortunately, I lost all my money all over again. I don't know how that kept happening. So I wanted to just encourage you as well. And I'm going to go into speaking about Barter Smarter, because I'm going to take it all, as I'm saying, all around. Is I had Barter Smarter first. That's how I started. And I just wanted some extra income to put into my household. And that's how the woodpeckers initially began. I just saw an opportunity to sell things every single day that could provide me some sort of daily, weekly income. And just for my expenses, rent, fuel, food, things like that. And that's initially why I started woodpeckers. And what had happened was, when I had left woodpeckers, I went into Barter Smarter. And don't worry, I'm going to speak about all the things that I went through just at the end of the slide. But for now, I just want to get through this. When I started Barter Smarter, I had started it initially a year before the woodpeckers. So it was just on the back burner because I didn't have the resources or the tools for it. And I had an investment into Barter Smarter when one of my friends called me and said, I know a great tech firm that is looking for young people with tech ideas. Why don't you go and pitch your idea? So that's initially what I did. And I got an investment for Barter Smarter. I was pretty much everywhere. I was known for Barter Smarter at the time. I was on anything you could think of, IT Web, Briefly, News Live, absolutely everything that you could think in terms of news publications, magazines. And that idea was just becoming, it was blowing up at the time. I had a nice office, I had all these resources, and Barter Smarter did not work. And I want to share this because it's one of the biggest parts of my journey when it comes to the woodpeckers and expensive heads. I'm going to go into exactly what has allowed me to survive the journey. And that's what I want to share as a motivational part for younger entrepreneurs. When it came to Barter Smarter, what truly impacted it not working is I stopped believing in the idea. And why it's important for me to share this is because at the end of the slide, if you can go to that, I speak about what you need to survive the entrepreneurship journey. In expensive heads, I had absolutely nothing. I had no resources. I had no tools, really. I just had the minimum, which was selling things, selling products. And I had to work my way up from that. When it came to the woodpeckers, I had just lost everything again. I put money into things that were not working. And I impulsively did it because I had no one to ask or advise me at the time. I was just trying to do what I could. I bought things that didn't work out. The storage unit, I was in an arrears for so many things. And it was so difficult at the time. But what I want to talk to you about is what you truly need to survive the journey. I've read and listened to many videos and books about why startups fail. And they normally tell you things like, because of marketing, because of the founder does not have the necessary tools, experiences, there's no funds, there's a lack of staff, tech support, people. And these are not the things that constitute you going forward and succeeding as an entrepreneur. The first thing you need is authenticity. I was not authentic when I was in Barter Smarter. I made myself look and believe like I was something I wasn't. We were not doing well, and I wasn't authentic, and I wasn't honest about where I truly was. I didn't go and say, look, this is where I am, this is what's happening, this is why I'm failing, please help me. I believed in this imaginary vision and status of myself that allowed me to progress into failing. The second thing is commitment. Commitment trumps everything else. Commitment and discipline trumps everything else. If you're committed, you wake up every day, whether you have money or you don't have money, whether you're doing the right thing for your business or you're spending money on something you shouldn't be. At the end of the day, commitment is the most important thing. Being able to wake up every day and saying, no matter what happens, no matter how or what or where I am right now as a person, I committed to this journey. I'm going forward with it. No matter how many loans you take, no matter how many struggles you have. And I think it's important for entrepreneurs to know that it's okay to struggle. Most of us struggle. It is okay to struggle, and understand that it is okay to struggle, but it's not okay to have a struggle mindset. It's not okay to wake up and think that this is how I'm going to be and this is what's going to happen. Let me go and find a job. And I've noticed we get, as soon as something doesn't happen for us, we get so discouraged. It's almost like a bipolar effect. You get so discouraged, you just want to throw in everything and just say, oh, it didn't work out. Commitment is so important. And the third thing, I think most people don't speak about this, so it's not tangible, but it's so important. Believing in yourself and believing the idea. And I love speaking about this because I want you to know that I had all the funds. I had access to millions when I was at Barter Smarter. I could request funds. I had access to really high profile people. I had access to resources, tools. I had 13 people on the development of this. But I didn't believe in it anymore. I stopped believing in it. It's not about the resources, the money. It's not about those things. And most of us seem to think it is. Most of us think, oh, if I just have the funds, finally, I can get this done. If I just have this person, this office space, these people working on it, then it will happen. And most of the time, you do need those things. I'm not saying that you don't need those things, but what constitutes you succeeding at the end of the day is believing in the idea. You have to believe in it, because if you don't, you also struggle selling it. Whatever you don't believe in, you can't sell. The fourth thing, which is what motivates me. This is so interesting because for many years of my life, I used to believe that I need to wake up and set a goal of how much money I want to make. This is how I would motivate myself. I'd say, okay, I need to make this money. And if somebody came to me with an offer, and I'd just give you an example, it's for R1, I could make R1. I'd say, but I'm not going to take this opportunity cost. My time is being wasted. Why am I going to do this? Now, at the point where I am now, it's R1 I never had. It's 10 Rand I never had. And this is how you motivate yourself as an entrepreneur every day. You need to be able to make something. Even if it's R1, 10 Rand, $1 million, wherever you are in your journey, you have to make something. That's how you motivate yourself. When you are making nothing, you just become more discouraged. That is how I motivate myself daily, is to wake up and think, if I can just make one sale today, if I'm really crabby and irritable, I push myself to look into my network and source out, where can I make money today? Who can I sell something to? And that just puts me in a good frame of mind. It makes me feel like I'm progressing. I've made many mistakes in my journey, but what I've noticed is these 4 components have allowed me to stick through, being true to myself, being true to the people around me, authentic about where I am. It's important when you speak to people, tell them where you are right now, exactly where you are, so they can help you. We have an identity issue as business owners where we feel like we really need to look the part, and I went through it as well, we really need to have a car, have a nice office, or have certain things, maybe a cool watch or laptop or whatever, that constitutes us looking like we are successful. You don't need that. You just need to be authentic about where you are, committed to the journey, believe in what you're doing, and make progress every single day. I don't know if I've gone over time.
You have a little bit, Justine, but that's
Okay.
no concern, because I loved what you were saying. I have to say that I think that believing in authenticity for me is like, I'm so glad you've got it as number one, because you know what? People can feel if you're not real, you know, and for me, authenticity is really, really, you know, very much part of our journey as the Shared Value Africa initiative. And then I love the commitment, because I think if you're not committed to your business and you're just there to make a quick bit of money, you are not going to succeed. You know what I mean? Your journey is going to be very short. And I also, you know, believing in what you do is so important, because people buy into your passion and into your, you know what I mean, into, and seeing that you believe in what you're doing, you know, and that is the whole thing about believing in yourself and believing in your idea. I love this making a sale daily, because I think for me, even, you know, I always think about it. We have to every day be out there to try and reach out to somebody, to try and make that sale, to sell yourself, to sell your company, to sell your product, to sell, you know, to sell what you've got to, you know, what you've produced. So I think making a sale daily as a goal is an incredible one, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, it's really, really great to hear that. I just quickly want to give you 1 minute to tell us about your media company, because that's what we want to know about as well, because that's where Justine is now. She's created this media company. So I'm not, you know, so Justine, over to you.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. So we have a company called Africa Talks Business. It is a media publication throughout all Africa. Actually, I haven't shared everything that we do, Tiki, so I'll share it with you now. The bulk of our subscribers and our clients are coming from our economic reports, and this is our personal IP. We sell these reports to investors, we sell these reports to people who would like to look into Africa, or specific Africans that are in different African countries that want to invest with each other, so that they can have historical data and get a grip on what is to come and what is to expect in the next couple of years in terms of the manufacturing sector, mining, and inflation. So that's the one part of it. The other part, which is Africa Talks Business, is a publication that we have broadened out to Africa for young entrepreneurs and for business owners, CEOs. And we share your story, exclusive, also known as exclusive interviews and company features, where our journalists put together a list of questions, about 5 tailored questions for you, and you're able to share your story on this platform. We have had great responses from this platform. We've had a couple really good interviews with the BE Chamber, and you can go through all of our interviews. We have very insightful interviews, but what we do further than that is, once we have conducted an interview with you, we sit down in the week and we formulate where we believe you can network with the other people that we have interviewed previously. And so we connect you with different African business owners, and this makes it easy. So we do something that's called an introduction mail for you, and we'll introduce you to each other, and you can take the relationship from there. So if you want to see it, well,
I think we don't, Justine, I think we don't have time, but if you can put the link in the chat. But I just want to, so what Justine was just saying now is how we connected, the two of us. So and that's how Justine ended up being here today. So can you see the power of the collective is working? So what for those of you that joined us late, you know, you can actually, you've got 3 minutes to tell your story, you know, to us today, because Justine has got 3, and the SVAI has got 3 prizes that we're giving away, you know, for you to create your, and to create the campaign on Africa Talk Business, and then to connect then with Justine. I think that the odds are great if you want to tell your story. I mean, Kate has just told me, I think there are only, how many, Kate, are there that wants to tell their story?
We only have 4 at the moment.
So we've got 4. Look at the odds. So if anybody else wants to tell their story, 3 minutes you have, your name, your company, which country you're from, and did the training that you did with the Shared Value Africa initiative, did it make you think about changing your business a little bit? And did you implement some of the learnings, and did it create a different impact for you? Because when I go back to the 4 things that you know, that Justine said, you know, what did you do? And I think when I think about the training, you know, that authenticity really sticks with me, and commitment, and believing in what you do, and making a sale. So yeah, so if any one of you want to add your name, please tell your story. So Kate, you're going to have to tell me who's first up to tell their story. Then afterwards, after all 4 and I hope there's going to be a 5th one that's going to join up if there are 5, and then we can you know, we can then announce the 3 that's getting the prizes. So who's first up, Kate?
Before we do that, is there anyone who has a question for Justine?
Oh, thank you, Kate. Yeah, anybody want to ask Justine about how she got through all of this? Because I think, yeah, just put up your hand, because I think, I mean, when I look at Justine at Expensive Heads, at Barter Smarter, at Woodpecker, you know, and now at Africa Talk Business and all you're doing, I think it's amazing, you know what I mean? And thank you for sharing all your mistakes, because we always, oh, Nicodemus, I'll let you ask Justine now. Thanks for sharing your mistakes, because we all think that entrepreneurship is plain sailing, but it isn't. It definitely isn't. Okay, so you can unmute, Nicodemus, and you on camera, and then you can speak to Justine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiki. Hi, everyone. So my name is Nicodemus. I am in Nairobi. And I do not know if I have a question so much as a comment, and it is that I could relate so much with a lot of what Justine was saying, because also I remember just when I started my first company, it was Organic Life. It was regarding farmer empowerment, so that they increase their yield and income. This was a really good business. It was a really good business, but you know, there's just something about zooming in and zooming out that is important to have that kind of mindset, in the sense that you move day to day. So today nothing happens, tomorrow nothing happens. And if you do this long enough, say over 1 month, 2 months, you start to get discouraged. Yeah. So we did this business, my partner and I, for 5 years. But if you zoom out and take a big picture outlook, it was a really good business, and we made money out of it, and people got benefit out of it. And just like Justine, the sense is that if you give up too soon, or if you give up on the dream, or if you give up before the organization or the business or the project matures into what it could possibly be, then it's like, wow, I really should have just held on for a bit. You know, I could have just stuck my ground for 2 more minutes, you know.
Yeah.
So if I mean, of course, in the sense of we all have regrets in life, or in the sense of could I have done something better? Definitely. And so when I think about my first company, this is what comes to mind. And it's that if I had held on a bit longer, regardless of the day-to-day challenges, that means you're zooming in too close, and you're too close to the thing. It's like, this person said he would call, you didn't call. This person said he'd reply email, you didn't reply email. But if you take a wider outlook, a wider picture angle, it's like, wait, But if you look from this year to this year, this is what we did. And if you look from this year to this year, this is what we did. And if you look from this year to next year, this is what we could be. In that sense, then you really kind of get the humility to kind of try and hold your horses a little bit and not make any rash decisions. But overall, I loved the talk by Justine, and I will send a message on LinkedIn if we could just share a bit more on our entrepreneurial journeys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for that, Nicodemus. Yes, I think what you were saying is that we must never give up on our dreams too quickly. And that's the one thing, and I can't remember now, I think who said it, is that, you know, once you get down, you need to get up again, you know, and that's the thing for me. And I also sometimes think, and it's a tip I want to give everybody here today, is that, you know, and that's what Justine was saying, is that make a sale every day. You know, it's like you can't, you know, like you just said, Nicodemus, you send an email and then nobody responds. You know, you need to follow up on that email, you know, and you need to go back to that person, because sometimes what some of us do, and I even speaking about myself in my beginning days as an entrepreneur, I used to send an email, and then when I didn't get a response, I was so hurt, but I should have followed up. You know what I mean? I can't leave it for 2 or 3 weeks. I need to follow up on that email, because this is what I always think. And this is what happens to me, is that if you send me an email and I miss it, okay? And this has happened to me now, just lately with USAID. I sent an email, they didn't come back to me. I went back to them to remind them, to say, hey, did you have time to look at my email? And they said, oh, sorry, you know, it got missed in everything. So that can sometimes happen to your email. But if you don't follow up, nobody is going to respond to that particular, you know, that particular email. So thanks for that, Nicodemus, and thanks for sharing part of your journey. So anybody else have got a question before we move on to you now telling your stories? Because remember, there are 3 prizes. So you've got 3 minutes to tell us what you've been doing since you've been part of the cohort, and to tell us if you've implemented any of the learnings and if that made an impact on your company. So I'm going to go back to Kate again now to say, Kate, who's first up? You choose.
First up was supposed to be Kwabena Tuful, but he's offline. So we can move on to Garrett.
To Garrett. Okay, where's Garrett? Garrett? Hello, how are you?
Hi
There
guys,
he
how are
is.
you? Good.
Good.
I actually didn't sign up for it, but I think maybe I should have, since I got called. So I will.
Okay.
I will share. My name is Garrett Webster. My story is a little complex, but from Jamaica in the US. Then lived in South Africa, and now in Rwanda. And so our company, Africa Accessible, we provide strategic partnership and marketing guidance to individuals, companies that want to connect with the African continent in the areas of economic development, tourism, and creative industries. And so we provide we do content that connects people to the discussions, to drive engagement as far as people coming to the continent for specific activities that would drive the investment. And so, yeah, sorry, is there anything else that I was supposed to mention?
Yeah, you were supposed to tell us, because you were part of our cohort, to tell us if you've implemented any shared value, any
yes.
of the shared, you know what I mean, your learnings and what impact, possible impact that.
Yes. So the new business actually is kind of, you know, birthed out of the shared value conversation, because at first we were just marketing, branding, consumer engagement strategy. And so now with this piece of around, you know, kind of it's shared value as far as the connections between US and African businesses in those areas, creative industries, economic development, and tourism. We're looking, it's more partnership focused, mutually beneficial. And so, the commerce piece now we've realized, I think the biggest key learning for me was that the money part of it is is critical to shared value, because that the profit with purpose, that allows you to continue to do it again. And so, we've looked at, kind of how we were doing it before, as far as, just supporting and being a part of different things to, where is the revenue stream in it so that we can do it again. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Gareth, because I was just going to say your 3 minutes is up.
Thank you.
But thank you for sharing that. And I hope that it's going well in Rwanda. I know, because the last time we saw you in Rwanda, and I think it was, you've just moved or you were going to move. I'm not sure. Yeah?
Yeah, we, it's been 30 days since we've been here now.
Oh, okay. I think I might join you there soon. Okay, Kate.
Please, we've got a seat for you.
Kate, who's next?
Next is Nesfori Mumbai.
Okay. I can't see.
Kate, I think he just fell off as you were
fell off, yeah.
Because he keeps coming in and out. So I think he might be having
he might come back again. So who else, Kate?
Next we have Nicodemus.
Okay, Nicodemus.
All right. So thank you so much again for just this opportunity to speak for a little bit. And it is that my journey, I'm going to take no more than 50 seconds to speak about my journey. And it is that much like Justine, I left school, but known so my dream was to be in broadcasting, to go into media and be a famous journalist. But yeah, no one tells you this before or after you leave school, that no one cares about you and your journey unless it is something you worked for. So I looked for a job for quite a while in radio and TV, but it did not work out. But I finally got an internship at a local radio station. It's called Hope FM. But after 6 months, it's not something I realized that I wanted to be a part of. And so this is when, and this is a very abridged version of this, and this is when I started applying my secondary talent, which is cooking. But if this is, again, one of the lessons in life is that had I known this, I would have straight away from like childhood focused on my love of food and cooking. But it was like, no, I want to be a journalist. No, you also need to be a doctor, but also you could be a lawyer. So there's a lot of things that people tell you in life, but you don't know if also, if, between your parents and your sisters and your possible mentors, like, so what do I do with my life? Fine, So anyway, I write to this chef in Nairobi, and I asked him if I could intern with his hotel. He wrote to me like a month later, and this started my journey in the food industry. And so I was a chef for 5 years at a hotel here in Nairobi, after which I left after fatigue to after a bit of an intervention, a bit of a sabbatical, maybe like a year. I started my first company. It's called Organic Life, and we used to do farmer empowerment to the degree that we wanted to increase their yield, but also their profit and through good agricultural practices training. So we did this for quite well for some time, for 5 years. But as I said earlier, it's that one would need the foresight to just stick with it when things are not looking good, because when things are looking good, it's like, let's keep on doing this. Yes, let's make money. Let's, But when things take a downturn, it's that, but I mean, it's not, should we give up, So when we asked ourselves this introspective questions, like we gave up too soon, but also at the same time, in the process of just introspecting, one of the things that was happening in my mind was that, but really the trend for me is that I find there is need for food production to increase, but also at the same time, it's that there is need for food consumption and food consumption to be efficient. And so in the process of back and forth and giving up and all of this, I started just thinking about the current project I'm running. It's called Food Solidarity, and it is geared towards reducing food loss, especially in the fresh produce value chain. And we do this through fortifying this fresh produce through by using insect protein, so that they have a bit more oomph to it, so to speak. And so before the whole shared value training, it was just, for me, it was very basic. I want to make money. I don't want to be poor. I just need money, you know. At the end of the day, if I can't make money, it's like, yo, what are we doing with our lives, you know? But after that training, it kind of just gave me a bit of that it's not just money, but also if you do all these other aspects, be it with employees, be it with your customers, be it with the environment, if you take care of these other aspects as well, money kind of just follows you, right? And so for me, it was a bit of an eye-opener. And it's the sense that fine, you want to make money, but also can you embed the idea of doing good within the aspect of making money, you know, because if you follow that kind of structure, then whether it's now or later, or maybe just a conversation you had with somebody, and it's like they had your vision for what could be, they get inspired, they just follow you with the money. So for me, I think after the training, my mind sort of went from money to good, and then money will follow. So this is what I can say about this. Thank you so much.
Nicodemus, that's like music to my ears, you know, because I wish there were more of our cohorts online today to hear that, because I think that's one of the things that one of the biggest mistakes we make as entrepreneurs when we start off. We've got these grandeur ideas of making money, because that's what we see on social media. We see all of these people with their smart cars, you know, and oh, you know what I want to do is I want to put Nespori on, because he's been trying to, and he drops off to tell his story. So Kate, sorry about that, Nicodemus, but great. I'm so glad that we've changed a little bit of your mindset, you know, from that perspective. Nespori, do you want to come on? Because I see you dropping on and off to tell your story. Can you put your camera on, or if it's going to affect your data, you can stay off camera, but you have to unmute. Nespori? Kate, can we maybe communicate with Nespori to say that he can, because shame, I think, you know, Nespori's been jumping on and off all the time, so I'm not sure what's happening there. So Kate, if you can speak to Nespori just to see if
I hope he's trying.
Oh, okay, shame. So just okay, so while we wait for that, so Nicodemus, and what you were saying is so important, because I think as entrepreneurs, we all just want to make money in the beginning, you know, and I think that I have the saying that if you do the right thing, you know, the money will come. So we've got to theory. Oh no, that's not Nespori, that's Enoch. Okay. So is there nobody else that want to tell their story? I know Nespori wanted to, but I think Nespori's got sound or connection problems, because
Hello.
Hello, Enoch, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, so Enoch, do you want to tell your story and tell us what you've done and how you've implemented shared value? That would be great.
Okay, thank you. So the network has not been very good.
Okay.
I'm Enoch from Kinok AG Herbal Clinic Limited in Ghana, and we are providing good quality and affordable healthcare using alternative medicine or botanicals. And currently, we are doing very well because our products are also doing well on the market. And thanks to shared value, because in terms of employing staff, we've really, we had a lot from the shared value, because we needed people who would be team players. And those we've gotten now are very good at it. And also streamlining our value and our goals and vision has also helped us. And currently, we also got to know of an opportunity by doing so. So very, very soon, you will see our
Shame. I think we've lost him again.
from Ghana, teas from Ghana from Health that's being produced by Kinnock. So you see it very soon, and I hope you get some. Thank you.
Enoch, and tell, so has business been good for you? Can you hear me? Hello? Shame.
I wonder if
Okay.
maybe he's still on the road. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so anybody else? Owen, you don't want to say anything today, but that's okay. Anybody else that want to tell the...
Okay.
Who's there? I heard something.
That's Enoch. Huh?
Oh, is he back again?
Yes, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay. So it's okay. You know what, Enoch, thank you so much for sharing that. I don't want to use
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we'll if you can stay online, that would be great. But if you fall off, we'll come back to you. Okay. Okay. Owen, I see you've taken your cap off. You're ready to take the floor. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to share. I think to start off what I'm sort of experiencing about the shared value is that it's a continuous journey, and you keep on learning about it and also trying to implement. But I think to get back to my story, I lead and I'm part of a company here in South Africa called Driven. And in Driven, we're trying to promote and progress shared value within the financial sector. And our work includes working with the financial sector and working with financial products, particularly micro businesses, and trying to see how we could push or help progress shared value within the financial inclusion, getting consumers to yes, use financial products like savings accounts, wealth creation products, but not use them for the sake of using them, but also use them for the sake of getting progress in terms of economically and also getting economic dignity. So that is where our key work has been. But I think the biggest tension that I've always had before participating in the shared value purpose playbook program was just understanding how you balance profit and how you balance being for business. That's always been that tension. There's always this view that you can't do both at the same time. But I think while I was in the program, I think that was the biggest learning for me, that you can actually do make money, but also at the same time be a purposeful business. And we're trying to kind of promote that into other companies as well, particularly the financial sector, which is probably the hardest area. We're trying to get our own clients to understand what shared value is and how it can actually progress within their own sector as well. It's work in progress. I think we're not yet there, but I think for us, we are quite clear in our own journey what our purpose is and how that balances out and helps us to make significant profit that's okay within the business. But it's work in progress, and hopefully.
Yeah, I think Owen, what you're saying is so true, because a lot of people struggle with the fact that you can do good and be profitable at the same time. You know what I mean? That's the mind shift, because profitability with shared value comes first and foremost. Because if you're not profitable as an organization, you cannot be sustainable. You cannot do what you need to do if you're not profitable. So you have to do that. And I think that in the beginning, because a lot of people confused shared value with corporate social investment, and that's where the whole thing came in. But creating value for all should be part of your overall strategy. which I'm sure it is now, because I've been watching your journey, you know what I mean, as you go along, because I know you, like Justine, also had some dips and highs in your journey as well, and glad, you know what I mean, we all got to survive, you know, that's the whole big thing, but never make the wrong decision. This is the one thing that we have to learn, is to not make a desperate decision, you know, when you're struggling to survive, because that desperate decision can actually cost you more, you know, in the end. But listen, I'm very cognizant. Thank you, Owen, for that. I'm very cognizant of the time. So we haven't got that many of our cohort here today. So we've heard four deliveries. There's so what I'm going to ask is, I'm going to ask Justine to put her camera on, and then just tell us who she's chosen, you know, out of the four, because there was Gareth, Nicodemus, Enoch, which I know is I know we always have problems with the Ghana connection, always. Not so, hey, Will, always. I mean, it's really sad, and this is another reason why we've got to get connectivity on this Africa continent right. So we had Gareth, Nicodemus, Enoch, and Owen. So we've had four people talking, you know, just a little bit about their journey and how they incorporated shared value into it. So Enoch is back. Oh, yay. But I know, Enoch, I can commiserate with you with the connectivity in Ghana, but we've got to work on getting that right for Africa. So over to you, Justine. If you can unmute, then you can tell us, you know, who you've chosen out of the four.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your stories. I would love for Nicodemus.
Yeah.
Am I saying it correctly? Nicodemus.
Yeah.
Enoch and Owen to be part of our exclusive interview. And we'd love to do an exclusive interview for you. The only thing that we need to do that is just your emails.
Okay. Okay, so Justine, that's great. So, okay, so we've got Owen, we've got Enoch, and we've got Nicodemus. So I think what happens here on forward, well done. You can't see me, but I'm clapping. So well done, because it's really a great opportunity for you to talk about your organization. And also what I want to ask you is, when you do speak to Justine, you obviously have to talk about the Shared Value Africa initiative as well, hey? Because it goes both ways, hey? So please do, when you interview it, please share with her, you know, what you've learned from a shared value perspective, because that's important for us as well. And we'll share the emails with you, Justine. Kate will share it with you. And then, you know, you'll each be interviewed. You'll get your interview. You obviously have to send a really beautiful photograph of yourself. I think that's it, Justine. But Justine will share all the actual details with you. So yes, I think we've got 7 minutes left. I don't know if anybody wants to say something. Vuyo, maybe you want to say something. Maybe Mumbi wants to say something, or Susan, you know, as our teachers, yeah, to just share a little bit or say something. Oh, Gareth wants me to share the news about Vuyo again. Okay, Gareth, I'm happy to do that. So what we're doing from a Shared Value Africa initiative perspective, Vuyo is taking over the reins next year. She's our CEO in training at the moment, because what we've done is we've created the Shift Impact Africa group, and I'm stepping into that. So because we've got to try and build the Shift Impact Africa side, and Vuyo's going to continue to build the Shared Value Africa initiative. So that's Vuyo's news. So Vuyo, over to you.
Thanks so much, Tiki. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for the faith, and yeah, looking forward to working with everyone. I was quite excited about today's session. I know we are recording it, so everyone will get a little bit of the video recording, but it's always nice to have everyone together, and really appreciative of, you know, those who are able to come in and join us. It's like, I want to give everyone a virtual hug, you know. It reminds us all of all the chaos in the training, and, you know, the fun, I hope, of the training as well. And I think, like what we always said was, you know, finding ways for everyone to keep connecting, because as Diki mentioned, you are part of our community, right? And I was saying earlier that as we now planning various events in those countries, we're definitely going to, you know, keep in touch and let you know when we are in town, Nicodemus, you know, when we're in town, you know, Garrett and Enoch as well, and everyone else to, you know, come and meet us in person and we can actually catch up. And I think for me, Tiki, what I would love, and maybe we can talk about it later, a challenge to everyone is we didn't have time for everyone to record their stories, but maybe like a little Zoom recording of yourself on your laptop to talk about your organization and your shared value journey, because for us, it's part of being able to keep the conversation going as to the, you know, the impact and growth in your businesses and your experiences, even beyond this, because we've got our social media platforms, we've got our website, etc. So we'll definitely be in touch to kind of like, you know, give us a 2-minute, just you on a screen recording of what you've done. So for me, it's just to say thank you, everyone. Our team is growing, guys. So great that you could meet Kate and Philly as well. Of course, Mumbi and Susan and all of us under the leadership of Tiki. What I wanted to actually say, the reason I was coming on screen is that I think I figured out the music. So when everything is done, we'll have 30 seconds of a song just so I can show Garrett that I can do it. But thanks everyone for coming together, and that's all from my side, Tiki, and we'll be talking to you all very soon.
Thank you, Vuyo. I see Susan's put her camera on. Susan, did you want to say something? And welcome, Teach.
Teach. Today, actually, I was the student on inspiration, on courage, and fire, passion. I just want to say thank you all for the work that you do, the passion that you have, and the change that you're creating for all of us in our countries, across the continent. So we are celebrating you, we are cheering you on, and thank you so much for your wonderful work. Keep going. We need you, and we need more of you. So that's it from me.
Thank you, Susan. So, okay, so to follow up on what Vuyo was saying is that we're reaching out to you to do a 2-minute video for us, because we wanted to put it on our Shared Value Africa Academy part of our website. Just a 2-minute video about, oh, sorry, Mumbi, I'm gonna give you time now to talk.
No, I think just allow me to keep my camera off. It's those days where I'm like all over. I'm just agreeing very much with what Susan has shared, and it was amazing to hear about Justin's story, and of course to be reminded about your stories, which again are very familiar to me, but to hear them again. And yes, we are there. We are one community. We're there to support you. I know some people have reached out to me before on this and have been on this call. So please, let's just keep the interactions going. Happy to share resources, knowledge where needed, and also to learn from you as well. Back to you, Tiki. Thank you.
Thank you, Mumbi.
Garrett, stop it.
So Mumbi is hiding today, Gareth, like me. So we're both hiding, don't worry, Mumbi. So just, I got a gentle reminder from Kate here, you know, our latest addition to the family, to the Shared Value family, to please talk about Jammy Trade. So let me tell you where we are just quickly with Jammy Trade. So Talifani Banks, or Mamafa, that's his real surname, and myself, whose company Analytics X is developing this platform. Both of us went off to the AFCFTA forum, business forum in Cape Town, you know, to go and see what's happening there from an AFCFTA perspective and to see who we can talk to. So the result of that is what we're doing with Jammy Trade. We're actually launching it at the end of May. beginning June. So just look out for it, because we're launching the actual platform. I just had an email actually from Talifani this morning. So yes, Jammy Trade is that's the platform that we want all of our entrepreneurs to be on, so that Nicodemus can speak to Enoch. You know what I mean? Nicodemus is in Kenya, Enoch is in Ghana. We want to start building those relationships between our entrepreneurs. And then we also, through the platform, obviously wants to encourage trade. There's going to be training on the, you can be part of research when you go onto the platform. You can, there'll be training on the platform, on the platform as well. So we're very excited. So I want you to all please just pray for us, because on the 19th of May, we've got an event at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange with a small group of investors, because we're looking, as I said earlier on, for that MVP2 funding that we're looking at. So, and hopefully we'll get it on the 19th of May. I'll send you all an email if it is, because then all our prayers have been answered, not so. So yeah, so just on that note, to say, I would really love for those of you that's got 2 minutes to put a video together for us, so that we can put it on our website under the Shared Value Africa Academy, where we do our different cohorts. You can take it on your phone, but just that authenticity that Justine was talking about, do it with, with authenticity and with commitment, so that we can see, what has come out of, as Susan is, and thank you, Susan, for commending us on our work. We love what we do. We love building, young businesses in Africa, and that will never stop. So thank you, all of you, for being here today. And I think, wow, we can actually finish right on time. I think it's my first event where we finish right on time. So as they say, there's always a first time for everything. So thank you, everybody. So can you submit those videos to Kate? Her email was on the invitation, Owen. So thank you for that question. I didn't think about that. So yeah, team, Philly and Kate, if I haven't left anything out, and Vuyo, then we're good to go. And may you all have a wonderful weekend. For those in South Africa, it's a long weekend, because tomorrow is Freedom Day, because that Freedom Day comes from the first time when people voted in South Africa. I think it was in 1999, hey, Will? Yeah. So tomorrow is Freedom Day, and then a lot of people, well, the Shared Value Africa Initiative team is taking the Friday off as well. So, yeah. For those in South Africa, enjoy the long weekend. For those who don't have a holiday, enjoy the rest of the week. Okay, thank you very much, and love to everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
The music, where's the music?
Is it playing? Is it playing?
No, I can't hear it.
No. I was
Guys, you have it on tape.
Okay, we'll have to learn how to do that.
Nothing still. Oh my God.
there.
Yeah, but you had to share your screen. We heard a little bit of it, and then it went away. It's like it came up with your screen sharing.
You're muted.
Don't let Carrot win, please.
I think next time, yeah, Garrett's gonna be our DJ, guys. Guys, I'm gonna figure this out. I promise you.
Okay.
We don't have enough time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Great to see you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.